So we all say that Python is a high-level programming language. What do we actually mean by that? It's nothing but it's closer to human language, which is very convenient and easy for us because it's human readable and very easily understandable, unlike many other complex programming languages. In contrast to assembly language that are considered to be low level because they are very close to machine language. The programming languages whose syntaxes are closer to machine language are pretty harder for us to interpret and to learn. But to our luck, Python is very easy because it's closer to human-like language. Also, it's open source and community driven. That means that it is easily and freely accessible to everyone out there. You don't have to pay anything. And there's a website, let me share. There's a website called python.org. In this website, you can easily download the latest version of Python, where you can interact with the Python interface and play with the Python codes, learn, of course. And there's a documentation where you can, it's basically, it will guide you through all the syntaxes, all the Python programming language. So this website, please keep a note of it. It will be very much useful to install as well as learn Python. All right, let's get back to our PPT. So also Python has got many modules. What do you mean by a module? Module is nothing but, it's like a library. What you mean by a library in layman terms? Library is a place where there are a collection of books, right? Similarly, in this Python word, library means collection of packages, collection of functions, sorry. So in every module, there are many functions which are designed to do specific tasks. Examples of certain modules are pandas, numpy, cborn, matplotlib, so on and so forth. We'll be learning few of the modules in this course. With that, you'll get a brief idea about how the modules work, and every module is designed for specific purpose. All right. So why Python? Python programming language is basically one of the most widely used programming language. Why is it like? Why is everyone so crazy about Python? And all these days everyone is eager to learn Python and are preferring to switch to this programming language. The main reason is it's very simple and there's no complexity, unlike other programming languages where in Java, for example, for an instance, in Java, to do a certain task, you might have to write some, let's say 5 or 10 lines of code. Similar task, you can finish it, in 2 to 3 lines of code using Python. I'll explain you in this course how easy it can be. And trust me, you will start loving this language in general. Also, coming to its applications part, you can use Python for developing complex scientific and numeric applications. Also in real-time world scenario, you can use it in web development, software development, database access, so on and so forth. It also helps a lot in visualization and data science in general. Python is like a great tool for data cleaning. You will learn about it in this course. What do you mean by data cleaning and how does it help in data science? So for now, just understand that there are certain packages like pandas, numpy, which are dedicated for this purpose. These modules, which I have just named, it has got so many packages that helps in this process. Also, Python is great for visualization. As you can see here, you can also create such interactive and interesting graphs with the help of modules such as cborn, matplotlib, pyplot, and so on. Like, we will be discussing some of them, and with the help of those modules, and of course with the help of the Python programming language, we can create such beautiful graphs which will help us in visualization if you are seeking for data science course. Python interfaces. What do you exactly mean by an interface? It is a place where there is a scope of interaction. Of course, by the definition, by the word itself, we understand it's a scope of interaction. It's a place where we can interact, where you can input set of commands and expect the results in that environment. So like many programming languages, even Python has got so many options available. You can pick one of the interfaces which you are comfortable with and which you find it to be, easy and convenient. Examples are like idle, there's Python Win, Python Shell, and personally, I'll be using Jupyter Lab. In this course, I'll guide you how to install it as well as how to use it. It's very much user-friendly. It also allows us to write notes along with the code so that later on, basically it acts as a notebook where you can also understand the piece of code. Like apart from syntax, you can also give headings. I'll show all the features here in this course. So like in every programming language, this hello world acts like a starter, right? So here also we'll start with the simple print statement. And in this lecture, I'll be discussing more on string concepts. So let's get started. What's the wait for, right? Let's get into the Jupyter Lab. So this is how, let me take a new Python file. This is how the Jupyter Labs interface looks like. These are called cells. You can create new cell using escape B shortcut. There's a shortcut called escape B. Let's say you have something here and you want to create a new cell just below this one. You have to use this shortcut called escape B. And if you wish to create a new cell above this current cell, then use escape A. All right. And you can delete the unwanted cells using this scissor icon, as you can see here. So now, like I've just discussed in the slide, we'll be starting out with a simple print statement. So there's no fancy syntax here, no need of any, thing. You don't have to really think out of the box. There's no rocket science here. It's just a simple print function. As you can see, just write print and use this open and closing parenthesis and just give in the string that you want to, hello world, and just press Control Enter. So whenever you want to execute a cell that has got certain functions in it, certain statements in it, you'll have to use Control Enter. So it has outputted that string, hello world. In this demo video, I'll be discussing certain topics in strings concept. So let me give a heading. Like I said, Jupyter Lab allows us to give headings as well, apart from syntaxes and notes, which we will be writing now. Introduction to strings. Change it to Markdown, press Control Enter, and here we go. We got a first heading for this video. So what do you understand by strings? It's nothing but a set of characters or alphabets, right? Let me give out the definition for you. Strings are set of characters. Okay, B for new cell. Okay, so how do you tell a Python interpreter that, hey, listen, whatever we are going to input, it's of type string. Take it as string, nothing else. How do we tell this to an interpreter? Of course, there's a syntax for it, and Python has given us two options. We can either stick to single quotes or double quotes. All right, let's see what it does. Single and double quotes. Change it to Markdown, Control Enter, escape B for new cell. I take a variable called my_string1 and I'll store single quoted statement in it. This is my single quoted statement. Similarly, I'll take another variable called my_string2 and save double quoted my double quoted statement. Alright, press Ctrl Enter. It has executed. It has successfully saved this content in the respective variables. Press Escape B. Now I would like to see the output of my first variable, which is my underscore string 1. Press Ctrl Enter. And as you can see, it has successfully outputted whatever I have stored in it. But how do I know it for sure that it has taken it as string and nothing else? So there is a function called type, which will give us the type of the content it has stored in it. Whether it has stored, whether it has taken it as string or integer or Boolean. Let's see. Type of my underscore string 1. Control Enter. Yes, it has taken it as string type, which we decided to take it as. All right. So similarly, I'll test for my underscore string 2. Control Enter. Yes, it has taken even the statement that we have written in double quotes also as string type. So it's working both for single and double quotes. Some of you might have doubt, like if we can, use both single and double quotes in the same time at the same time for the same sentence. Let's see what it does. Let's say we have my underscore string 3 and has say single quotes. This is a statement, and let's say it's ending with double quote. I've given single as well as double, and I try to execute it, and it says it's throwing an error because it's not able to interpret it, as we have tried to use both single and double quotes. So in Python, it doesn't encourage using both the quotes at one go. You can either stick to single or to double. Escaping. Now let's go to another topic, which is multi-line. Markdown, press Ctrl Enter. Here comes a heading, escape. So far we have only seen single line statements. So the single and double quotes works for single line statements. What about if we have multiple lines of statements or a paragraph? In that case, single and double quotes will not work. We have a separate syntax for it. We have to use this triple quotes. Whatever lines of, let's say if you have 10 lines or 100 lines or even infinite number of lines of statements with you, you'll have to put it in between these two triple quotes. Let's see by taking an example. Multi-line, sorry, I'll change the case. Multi-line underscore string is equal to, I'm giving triple quotes, and let's say this is a Jupyter lab. My name is Aishwarya. I am a Python tutor. Let's execute it. Control Enter, Escape P, print multi-line underscore string, Control Enter, and voila, here comes our output. So it has successfully given out the paragraph or the multiple lines, but let's see if it has actually interpreted it as string type. For that, we have our type function, type of multi-line underscore string, press Control Enter, and yes, it has taken it as of string type. What if we didn't have this triple quotes concept? What if we were forced to use only single or double quotes? Would this still work with it? Let's see. I have a variable named normal underscore string, and I'll give out the first line. This is Jupyter lab, and then press Enter. My second line, my name is Aishwarya. Press Control Enter. Sorry, Now press Control Enter. As you can see, it's just outputting the second line. Why is it outputting only second line? I was expecting something like this, right? These first two lines to be outputted. The reason being, Python interpreter works in a sequential manner. What do you mean by that? It just outputs line by line. So what is it doing in the first line? It's just simply saving this content in this string. I mean, in this variable. Let's see if it has successfully done its job or not. Normal underscore string, press Control Enter. Yes, it has successfully saved. That means it has successfully executed the first line. And when it came to the second line, which is just a string, a statement within single quotes, it has just outputted it as it is. By the way, this works same like this. So both of these are nothing but one and the same. Like it works same. If you give like this or like this, it's going to output the content, whatever is there. All right. So clearly it is not serving the purpose which we were planning it to, like it's not outputting these two as a paragraph. So we clearly have to use triple quotes to do the work. Now, since we were talking about the type function, let's see if it is able to identify other types which are like integer, Boolean. Let's say I have a variable called a and I have saved number 2 in it. Control Enter, FKB, type of a. So it has successfully interpreted it to be of type integer. But if the same number, if I give it under quotes, single or double quotes, whatever, Control Enter and Escape B, and let's say I've done this type function, it is taking it to be a string because Python is built like that. So whatever it sees under single or double or triple quotes, it will take it as string. Even though if it is a number, it will take it as of string type. All right, so we'll have to be very careful regarding this. Let's see if it is successfully identifying Boolean types. So Boolean is nothing but it will have true or false values in it. We will be discussing about it in detail in coming classes in the section data types. For now, just understand that Boolean will have only two values, which is true or false. Say B has got value true in it, FKP for new line, and let's find out its type. And yes, it has successfully interpreted it to be of Boolean type. Now we have another concept called changing case. What do you mean by it? It's a simple function. For example, if you have a name, let's say Eric, and you were asked to change the starting letter of this name, which is E, to uppercase, like something like this. So there's a function for it called title, which will help us converting the starting letter of this name to capital letter. And its syntax is something like this: variable underscore name dot title is its syntax. By the way, hash can be used if you want to give any comments. Hash, you can use hash followed by the whatever comment you want to give. All right, escape B. So let's take an example. I have a variable called name and I'm inputting Eric, escape B, print name, and it is outputting me Eric, escape B. And like I said, I would like to change this E to capital E. So what's the syntax? Variable name dot title. So what's the variable name here? Name dot title. Control Enter. So it has successfully changed the lowercase e to uppercase E. Great. So now we have another important concept in strings, which is called concatenation. What do you understand by the word concatenation? It's like joining. We are trying to join one entity with another entity. I'll take an example for you better understanding. Combining concatenation, right? Change it to markdown, press Ctrl Enter, Escape P. So I have a string called first underscore name. Let's say Ashwarya, and last underscore name. Let's say Richard. Okay. So the task is I want to join or concatenate the first name with last name. Something like this. Yeah, okay, without having to do it manually. Guys, without having to do it manually, I'll have to use a function to concatenate my first name with last name. So Python has provided a special operator for this purpose, which is plus. Using this plus operator, we can concatenate two strings. Mind it, guys, only strings we can concatenate using this plus operator. If you try to use it in numerical type, it will do addition. All right. Now I have another variable called full name, and I'm trying to concatenate my first name with last name. Since we have the content saved in this variables, I'm using the variable names over here. Escape B. Now let me see the result of this. So it has successfully outputted it has successfully done the concatenation. But guys, is it making any sense here? Like any layman who would try to read this will consider it to be as say single name. But I want him to interpret it as this is my first name and this is my last name. Like I want to give a space in between these two names. How do I do that? So I can do something like this. I'm adding a single quotes in between these two variable names. This will enable, this will give that space between the first name and last name. Let's see. As you can see, a space has been created between the first name and the last name. All right, let's try doing it with integer. Like I said, if we do it with integer types, it will simply do addition. Let's say A has 2, B has 3. Obviously, C equal to A plus B will obviously do 2 plus 3. There's no rocket science in it. And C. Like I said, it will add the two entities. In case of strings, it will concatenate them. Understand, guys? Now we have some simple functions in strings called upper, is digit, is lower. I'm just taking out some random simple functions to get a brief knowledge or idea about this subtopic. Let's see, I have a variable called first. Let's say like the variable called name is equal to Control Enter to execute it, and I want to check if the content in this variable is digit or not. If it is digit, it will return true. If not, it will return false. So this function is simply used to check. All right, name dot is digit. So this is a built-in function, guys, in Python. Name dot is digit. It is used to check whether the contents in the variable called name is digit or not. Its output will only be in terms of true or false. So it's showing false. So we have come to end of the session, friends. I hope you liked the demo session, and I believe all of you by now know what Python is and why everybody is using it. And I hope you consider learning Python. Happy learning and thank you.